With the launch of Star Wars Squadrons just under 1 week away, we thought it wise to take a look at one of the most iconic Star Wars starfighter squadrons. Of course, we're talking about Rogue Squadron.
Wedge Antillies, Rogue Squadron. I hear you're the reason I was able to finally get a comm through.
Hello everyone, my name is Captain Jack and welcome to Star Wars Now. Today we're taking a deep dive into Star Wars lore to explore who exactly Rogue Squadron is and how we might be seeing some members in the upcoming Star Wars Squadrons video game, which of course releases later this week on October 2nd. Before we dive into today's video, if you're new around here, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here on Star Wars Now. With the launch of Star Wars Squadrons getting closer and closer, we'll be covering every aspect of the game, so sit down and prepare to enter light speed. Diving into Star Wars lore, in the modern Star Wars continuity, Rogue Squadron's origins can be found in the Kieran Gillen's run in the mainline Star Wars comic book series. A plot thread on the early story of the comic is Luke learning about the sacrifice of Jyn Erso and the Rogue One team to acquire the Death Star plans, and coming to terms with their legacy and the legacy of everyone else who gave their lives to give him his shot at the Death Star. This comes to a head when Darth Vader launched an attack on the Mako-Tar Rebel space docks, nearly wiping out the vulnerable Rebel fleet. Luke finds himself in command of a flight of X-Wings, including Wedge Antillies, that has the potential to turn the tide of a battle. When Wedge requests to know what their call sign for the battle is, Luke decides to name them Rogue Squadron. Rogue Squadron would go on to become one of the Rebellion's most distinguished fighter squadrons, serving as a key mobile starfighter unit during the Mid-Rim Offensive. They flew snowspeeders during the Battle of Hoth, buying time for transports to complete the evacuation of Echo Base. The Rogues continued to be active following Hoth despite the losses they took there, but with Wedge taking Luke's place as Rogue Leader, while Luke Skywalker took an extended leave of absence. Within a few months after Endor, Wedge was no longer serving with the squadron, but instead doing solo recon missions in the Outer Rim. That's until he got swept up in an Imperial summit on Akiva, as shown in the novel Aftermath. Following the summit, Wedge remained on Chandler to recover from wounds he suffered there. After some time, he started a different squadron of washouts, Phantom Squadron, which he flew with at Kashyyyk and Jakku. It's unknown if Rogue Squadron was still active during this time period under a different leader, or if it had disbanded, but we do know that we'll be seeing Wedge flying with Rogue Squadron in the upcoming Squadrons video game. The timing of his appearance in the game is unknown, but there doesn't seem to be any easy place in the timeline for him to fly with the squadron after the summit at Akiva, so it's likely it happens in the early months after the Battle of Endor. While the idea of a rogue group was obviously created for Empire Strikes Back, the legendary Rogue Squadron as most people know it was created in Star Wars Legends by writer Timothy Zahn for his Thrawn trilogy of books in the 19s before being popularised by Mike Stackpole in the X-Wing series of novels. Those books detailed the continued missions of Rogue Squadron in the early years after Endor, mainly from the point of view of Wedge and the original character of Corran Horn. The current timeline doesn't seem to allow for many stories like that with Wedge leading Rogue Squadron, but before the recent Squadrons trailer included a mention of them, we didn't have any reason to believe Wedge flew them at all after Endor, so that may change in the future as well. One other deviation from Legends lore is the character of Hobby Killivan, who was a key member of the squadron in many stories after Endor. A deleted scene from Empire Strikes Back showed Hobby dying when he crashed his snowspeeder into the head of an AT-AT. And recent sources have shown this is considered to be Hobby's canon fate, though it also mentioned that he did serve as part of the squadron before Hoth. Star Wars Squadrons using Wedge and the Rogues is a very pleasant surprise, and it'll be interesting to see how the game opens the floodgates of more Rogue Squadron stories of all kinds. Hopefully we get more stories in the future showing the Rogues in all different time periods, particularly before the Battle of Hoth. Of course, we can't do a Rogue Squadron video without mentioning the classic video game, Star Wars Rogue Squadron. This game was first released for the N64 back in December 1998, and would follow Rogue Squadron after the Battle of Yavin through to the Battle of Hoth, as well as some bonus levels here and there. The main characters of the game included Luke Skywalker as Rogue Leader, Wedge Antilles, and Crix Madine. The game featured multiple levels with the players flying Y-Wings, A-Wings, X-Wings, and even some unique craft for various missions. Given the success of this title, it spawned two successor games of Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, as well as the third game, Rogue Squadron Rebel Strike. While these games are still around for original consoles should you want to pick them up, the original Rogue Squadron is available on Steam for PC players, and I'd recommend giving this game a go if you're looking for a classic starfighter game. Of course, the heroic Rogue Squadron does feature more heavily in Star Wars Legends, as we mentioned previously. However, given Star Wars Squadrons is set within the canon universe of Star Wars, we're only talking about that for today. Though we heavily encourage you to go forth and explore the extended history of the legendary Rogue Squadron, as these stories and games are really fantastic. It's currently unknown how much involvement Wedge Antillies will get in Star Wars Squadrons, but I personally hope that he is commanding Rogue Squadron, or at least we get a proper mention or even look at them in the game's campaign. Now if we get the chance to fly alongside them in the game, oh boy, that'll be so much nostalgia for me, as I grew up with the original Rogue Squadron video games. I even still have the original N64 cartridge on my shelf. Speaking of Star Wars Squadrons, the game is going to release on October 2nd, which is not far away now. Taking place following the Battle of Endor, we'll be seeing the New Republic's Vanguard Squadron up against the Galactic Empire's Titan Squadron. Expect a lot of lore and information as we head towards the game. That does indeed wrap up the Star Wars Explained video on Rogue Squadron for today. Should you want to keep up to date with Squadrons news, as well as more theories and information from the Star Wars universe, then make sure to hit that subscribe button to never miss a video from the team here at Star Wars Now. I've been Captain Jack, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. May the Force be with you.